I am a bit of a LEGO X-Men fan. I've collected a couple different MRM X-Men minifigures here in addition to all the other comic characters I've gotten from other companies. For Jean, I've also picked up this Phoenix, which is a bit more of a premium minifigure, and continuing the theme there, I picked up a brand new MRM minifigure, also of Phoenix. It is a lot closer to the SDCC version of the character that LEGO put out themselves. First thing that's going to jump out to you about this figure here is it comes in new packaging compared to the older clamshells that MRM has done. Ever since I started collecting, this Emma Frost was in my first order, and the Jean here is in my most recent order, other than the new one today, which is in a box now with a case inside of it. Has the logo for MRM there, and it is interesting to see them change it up since they've done these cards for so long. I think they said that they wanted to limit the space that it takes to share their figures, I guess. But you lose out on like the display case and all that, so there are some ups and downs. The box isn't marked at all, so it's going to be a little hard to tell who's supposed to be in each one. But let's go ahead and check out the contents of that package. And the box just has a flap that you pull out, so, you know, pretty typical box. Get a sticker with the render of the minifigure and a plastic case with the card in there. It's not numbered anymore, so it is just subject number 6. I don't have the specific number out of the total. It is something that differs from the old packaging. In the bottom right corner, I have number 15 out of however they made. So some differences there. I guess that would make it easier for them to package their minifigures in the future since they don't have to print individualized packagings. Popping it open, the card is not in a plastic bag or anything. You have the same sort of logo, and I guess this is a silver tiered minifigure, which I believe means that there are 30 to 50-ish of them. The minifigure is just in a bag, no other accessories included here. In addition to Jean, in this order, I also got their alternative expression for Professor Xavier, since I already had that minifigure, and I just thought, might as well get that. Have 2 different expressions for him, so we'll show that off too, and might as well do that first since it'll be nice and quick. Right now I have their Charles on my custom built hover chair, and I did like their design. It was a little simple though. I wanted a gold version though. This is the base head that came with the minifigure, where it is kind of a stern look, which is nice for when he's using his powers. Threw on the dish piece with the spider web pattern on that to kind of depict the waves that go around his head when he uses them. And let's toss on that new head. And this just continues the trend of MRM using weird faces from the game for some reason. I wish this was just a normal grin, since that would kind of complement this one a lot better. You can see the coloring and like line work on these just doesn't look the same. So there's just inconsistencies that I don't love. Looks like the eyebrows are even different thicknesses, where this one just feels like the line work and print is just thicker and sloppier. So that's kind of a bummer. I wish it was more consistent. It looks like the plastic color between these is different too, with this one being a lot more red than the other one, which is paler. So that is interesting. I wonder if this one could be sun bleach, or one of these could be a fake part, I guess. But got another head, I guess, and it's really a bad price. This was 10 bucks. It has 4 colors. I feel like they could have simplified that eyebrows to black to lower the cost of it, I guess. I don't know how many of the heads they made, but $10 for one head just does not feel like a good value, obviously. And I guess I don't even know if I'll use this. Maybe I can find another character to throw it on. But I don't love their expressions from the games. They just look weird, and they should really design their own prints instead of just stealing everything from the game. But that's the extra head for Professor X. And I'll say when it comes to Jean, I'll have a lot more positive reactions. One thing I am kind of noticing looking at it now is I just don't love the face print as much. I think that just comes from the fact that the version here on her like 90s suit, I just think the face expression looks really good. On this one, I feel like it's just like the eyes are like too tall and stretched in some way. Eyebrows seem to match thickness-wise, but torso and legs are perfect. It's even better than the San Diego Comic-Con version, since there is the green printing on the sides of the legs on both sides too. No green on the back of the legs though, but the official minifigure didn't have that either, so no complaints there. The print is also seamless, going from the torso to the hips to the leg. And there is even extra printing, so when you bend the leg, the sort of strings or whatever you would want to call the, I guess, sash part on her legs, still able to show a little bit more as you're posing her around. Obviously, when you bend her the other way, it isn't as big of a deal, not as noticeable. I guess maybe when you bend the legs all the way down and have her sitting, it would kind of show. So that could be a little goofy, but it is a nice extra little bit of detail, and I'm glad they did go ahead and add that. That's something I usually look out for on minifigures like this. And it is basically just a copy of a minifigure that already exists, so it should be pretty easy to translate the minifigure. One thing I said about my other Phoenix minifigure is the symbol on the torso. It's missing the black going towards the neck. That is rectified here a little bit. There's still some green still showing, but that's something Lego doesn't do themselves. They don't print directly to the edge of the plastic, so can't really knock them there. I guess I would have to buy a neck piece of some sort that would go around the neck, and it would be black. That would probably complete the look, and honestly, I think that would be kind of a nice little touch of detail. So I have to figure out if there's some part that somebody makes that I can do that for. I think some people do that for like Stormtrooper helmets, where it's just circle, goes around the neck. That way when you have the helmet on, it doesn't show the flesh coloring for the minifigure. And that would make this minifigure perfect to me, I guess torso and leg-wise. It does have another expression that is hidden underneath the hairpiece, which is also angry. I guess this one's more of a smirk, but you have the smirk, angry look. So 2 different options there. And I'll just flip that around quick. And I think for this side too, it is just a little too expressive for me, just over the top. I think the eyes kind of have the same issue I kind of pointed out earlier, where they're just too tall and stretched. Again, the mouth probably a little too big or low. I don't know. Proportions wise, something's just off about this, where it's a little too cartoony for my liking. But also in the comics, I feel like for the original Dark Phoenix story arc, she was very expressive in her drawings, so maybe it goes either way. And I think I want to display her with this facial option, and that way I could have this one as the more neutral expression version of her when she's not full villain mode. They did make a red version of this that was just a giveaway at the moment, but I think they are also going to sell it. I don't have any comics that I really remember with her with the red one on, so not something I'm going to chase down for my collection. I just really wanted this one to fill in the void for the missing San Diego Comic-Con version. And I really love this figure too. It has the gold, which is kind of nice too. And it's too bad that the sash is also printed on the leg here. Otherwise I could do some swaps. I could for the arms, but then the legs wouldn't match. Same goes for the legs, since the sash would be different. But I would love to have kind of the gold accents. I think that's kind of a cool look instead of yellow, but obviously Lego did yellow. In the comics it's yellow, since they are limited by the ink variety that they have. But I am glad to finally have a version of this character. It's very close to the official Lego one. Like I said, you know, torso design, great. Back has sash lines, muscle lines. Pretty typical of that early 2010-ish Marvel minifigure. And let's go ahead and get to some comparisons and the final verdict. Overall, I would say this Phoenix minifigure is definitely worth picking up, especially if you don't have a Jean Grey of any sort in your collection. Professor X head, don't love the value, think it looks goofy, but I guess it's nice to have an additional expression for him if I were to do fun photos or stop motions of some sort. That would be nice to have. And it'll pair up with any other custom minifigures or official minifigures that have been put out, like the official Cyclops torso and head. I guess the legs are tossed on from KO Customs, which I reviewed recently if you want to check out that video. And all of the KO Customs minifigures are in the same sort of design philosophy, where they have a nice level of detailing but are also pretty close to the Lego aesthetic. And that is what I'm looking for in my X-Men minifigures, is compatibility with other brands. Since certain people put out this character or that character, I just want everybody to fit in perfectly so I can mix up teams in different eras. And if I have a case here where there's characters that are the exact same but different suits, want them to look somewhat the same, which I guess this version of Phoenix does a pretty good job. You know, the faces look a little different. Probably prefer the looks on these ones better, but MRM did a good job matching the 2 different jeans here, kind of have them side by side. Like I said, though, the eyes and like proportions might be a little bit off on the Phoenix minifigure, where everything just looks a little more stretched and just wacky. But very glad to have the 90s look. And of course, like I said, having a version of the San Diego Comic-Con Phoenix that I missed out on and obviously is way too expensive. Just having a substitute of some sort is great. Maybe I'll look for a better face print somewhere to toss on this one eventually, but for now, glad to have it and love growing my X-Men collection. If you want to see more custom Lego X-Men videos or custom Lego Marvel videos overall, check out the videos on my channel. I've been Brick Radiop, and I will see you in the next video.